Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, great. Uh, so, any final questions for me?
Nope.
Okay, great. So as soon as you see the students appear, the simulation will begin. And just a reminder, this is training, so it's a great time to take risks and stretch yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's everyone doing today?
Hi. Oh, I'm good. Um, Hi. My name is Nina, and I really like your hair. I like the color. It's pretty.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. I like your hair also, Nina. It's very nice
Thank
of
you.
you. Are we ready to get started on our lesson today?
Yes.
I hope that everyone is doing well. And are we excited for math today?
I don't. Math isn't my favorite, but it's okay. I'm ready to do it.
Hopefully, I'll change that once we have a lot of fun talking about long division. Yeah, Carlos?
Oh, I like math, so I'm ready to get started.
Great. So, before we begin, I thought it would be a good idea to just go over long division. So, my question for you all is, what do we need to remember when we are doing long division? Is there something that we need to do to make sure we are doing the problems correctly? Do you have any ideas? Yeah, Mina?
We probably just have to make sure we pay attention and make sure we're doing it right.
Great. I love that. Any other ideas? Something that I was thinking about is when I do long division, I like to make sure that I check my work. Have you guys ever checked your work before?
Oh, like you mean like with the calculator?
You could use a calculator, or when you do long division, something you can do is you multiply your answer by the other number, and then you see if that equals the number inside the division box. Does that make sense?
Oh, oh yeah, that makes sense because then you'll know you got it right.
Exactly, exactly. So then if you realize that you got a different answer, then maybe you can go back and check and see where you made a mistake, right?
Yeah.
So when I was looking at everyone's awesome work, I saw that everyone kind of did it a little differently. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a think, pair, share with your neighbor. So maybe Mina and Will can work together, and then Jayla, Emily, and Carlos can be a group of 3, and you guys just chat about your work for like a minute. Can you guys do that? Great. Why don't you talk about what your group just talked about, what you, Emily, and Jayla talked about?
Well, Jayla was saying that she did that it was easy for her to do it in her head, and she multiplied by, like, she first multiplied 15 by 100 in her head and said it was 1500, and because she said it was easy because if you multiply by like 10 or 100, it's the same number plus a zero.
Right.
And like I did the same thing. I started with 10, and so I got 150, and she got 1500. But she already knew that 1500 was too much.
Right. So she worked in her head. Thank you, Carla.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because it's easy to do it in your head because those numbers like 100, that's easy. So I did it that way, and so it was easy for me to do it like that.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add, Jayla? Maybe you can talk about what Emily and Carlos did and their problems.
Well, Emily, she used 60. She said she started with 60. And she said she knew it wouldn't go over. And so she also said that like she was figuring out how to she did 60 times 12. And she said that she knew 12 was equal to 180 because she said that 3 hours and she said that 180 minutes equal 3 hours and that there's a 4:15. Wait, how did you say it? What did you say, Emily? I said that there's there's 180 minutes equals 3 hours, and there's 4 15-minute chunks in 1 hour, and so that's 12 15-minute chunks in 3 hours.
That's a great way to think about it, Emily. I love your
Yeah,
math thinking. Do you want to add
yeah.
anything else, Emily, about you?
I
Sorry.
wouldn't have thought about it like that.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good way to
sorry.
think about it. Emily, do you want to add something about Carlos and Jayla? What were they talking about? Or what did they do for their work?
Um, Carlos, he said he multiplied by small numbers because it was easier. And then he said that then he added them all up and and then got his number.
Great. Thank you so much, you three. And now can we move over to Mina and Will? Will, would you like to talk about what Mina did in her problem?
Uh, yeah, Mina, she like started multiplying by she started with 90 and she said she realized that it was too high. And so she said that after that she like subtracted well, okay, so she got what was it? Uh, I think you said what you got like 1350, and then she said she subtracted 1080 from that, uh and then like she got, I think she like rounded it off, she got like a number but she rounded it off to 300, and then like did 15 times 20 like that.
Great.
Yeah. Can I finish what I did? Can
Go
I
ahead.
finish what I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so after that, and so I knew that it was 70 instead of 90 because 90 was way too high. And so when I multiplied it by 300, I knew that it was going to be 70. And so and 15 times 70, I got 15 times 70 was 1050, and I subtracted that from 180, and then I had 30 left, and so that's 15 times 2. And so that
Great.
was so it came out to 72.
Mina, would you like to talk about Will's work and what he did?
Yeah. So Will did on his work. He Let me think. Let's see. Will, what was yours? You did the you started with 50, right? You started with 50.
Yeah.
Okay, so Will started with 50, and then he got he got 750, and then I think he said he needed half of that, and so he times it by like 15. I mean by 15 times 20 and got 300. Then he added those together, and then he knew he only needed 30, and so that was easy because it was like 15 times 2.
Right. Thank you guys so much for talking with your partners and sharing your work. It's really important in math that we talk about our work and we get to see how other people solve the same problem. So I really appreciate you guys talking with each other and listening to all your friends, right? And you all were able to tell me what your friends did, which was really great. So now we're gonna move on and we're gonna switch gears a little bit. So we're gonna look at, yeah, Jayla?
Well, who do you think did the best? What's the best way to do it?
You know what? That's the crazy part about this problem is that there's no right way to do it. There are so many different ways to solve the problem. And everyone did such a great job that as long as you get the right answer, that's just the perfect way to do it. Whatever works right for your brain, right?
Yeah, I guess if we all got the right answer, it doesn't matter.
Right. As long as you like the way that you're solving it, then that's all that matters, right?
Right.
So now we're gonna look at Leah's work. You guys have that in your tablet, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about what Leah did, and we're gonna talk about maybe we can compare it to your own work. So should we look at Leah's problem? Can everyone see that? So I noticed at the side of her work, she has two problems. She has 15 times 8 and 15 times 7. Does anyone want to tell us what she was doing there? What do you think she was trying to do?
I don't know what she was doing because it looks like she was using smaller numbers.
You're
But
right.
I don't know why she would start with like 7 and 8 because she definitely a much bigger number. It's for 1,080.
That's a really good point, Mina. Does anyone want to answer Mina's question? Anyone have any ideas of what she asked?
I agree. I mean, I think it's kind of weird that she would start with those small numbers.
Yeah. You want to hear what my idea is of why she did that?
Yeah.
So you see how the number is 1,080? I think that Leah thought it would be easier to start with 108. So she just covered that last zero to give herself an 108. So then she was trying to see how many times 15 can fit into 108. Does that make sense?
Oh, you could do it like that?
Yeah, so she did 15 times 8, and that gave her 120. And then she did 15 times 7, and that gave her 105, which was perfect. So that gave her 7, so that's why there's a 7 at the top. Then does anyone want to tell me what she did next after she got that 7? Yeah, Mina?
I was going to say it seems it's probably easier to start with like 108 than to do 1,080. So it actually seems easier to do it like that.
Yeah, you're right. I think that makes it a little less scary because you have a smaller number that maybe you're more familiar with. That's a good point, Mina. Thank you. Anyone want to tell me what Leah did next? So she had 105. What did she do at the 105? Emily, do you have any ideas?
Yeah. She on the paper, she subtracted 108. Well, she subtracted 108 from 105 and got 3, but then she brought the 0 down.
You're right. That's exactly what she did because she didn't use that 0 earlier. Remember how I was talking about how she just left it alone to start with the 108? So then she had to bring it down so she wouldn't forget about it. So then she had to see how many times 15 went into 30, right? Yeah, Carlos?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she checked her work too.
Yeah, you want to tell me how she did that, Carlos? What did she do to check her work?
Yeah, she put 15 times 72 and
What does that equal?
and 15 times 72 equals 1,080.
And that's what she needed to get, right?
Yeah.
Remember at the beginning I was talking about how you can multiply your answer with the bigger number inside the division box? That's what Leah did just to make sure she was correct, because if she got maybe a different answer, she might have did something wrong when she was solving it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so she did like you said, she checked her work. So she knew she got it right.
Yeah. Do you guys think you want to try checking your work next time you solve the problem?
Yeah.
Think
Yes,
that's a
I
good
do.
idea?
I do because I think I like to make sure I get all of my work right because I want to get A's. So I'm going to start checking it.
You know what's also important? I think it's also important that we learn and try our best because it's okay to make mistakes, right? Because making mistakes means that you're learning, right?
Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes because that's what my dad says.
Yeah, even teachers make mistakes, and that's okay because nobody's perfect and everyone still gets to learn, right? Even if you're 100 years old, you're still learning, right?
Yep.
Does anyone have anything they want to mention about Leah's work? Any other last thoughts before we move on? No last thoughts? Can we go to Max's work? You guys have Max's work on your iPad as well, right?
Hi, I'm so sorry to cut you off early, but it's not a reflection of your performance at all. You did a great job. We just need to move on because of time. So how are you feeling after that simulation?
It was good. I asked different questions than I did last time, so I didn't get through everything because I stayed at the beginning part a little longer. But I think that's okay because we were having a good conversation.
Yes, yes. It seemed like they were having a good conversation. It was they got really deep and detailed pretty quick because of the questions that you asked in the beginning. So let me ask you before we get into that, what do you think that you did well during this scenario?
I decided last second to do the think, pair, share. I wasn't originally going to do that. I decided last minute. And I thought that went really well because it was nice to hear them talk about what their other students did. Instead of saying, I did this, they were saying that Carlos did this and Will did that. So that was interesting to hear them talk about their work and asking their classmates for clarification. So I thought that went well.
I agree. I thought that that was a very good way to get them interacting with each other and also learning more about just learning more about how each other, you know, comes up with their answers. So it allowed for them to do some in-depth thinking. So I thought that that was very good, a very good a choice you made there. So what about, tell me, is there anything that you think you could have done better? Like if you were to do this again, what's something you think that you would change?
There were some questions that I had to ask that I wanted to ask at the end that I didn't get to because we kind of went at a different pace this time, but that's okay. So maybe I could because those questions were kind of just like higher level thinking questions, so they weren't necessarily like necessary, but we didn't get a chance to get to them. So maybe timing it a little bit differently, maybe.
Yes, yes, absolutely. The only thing that was not addressed was that mistake on Carlos's paper because he did get 62, unlike the rest of them, and it wasn't brought up. So that was just one little thing that could have been a teaching moment uh, that wasn't addressed. But overall, I thought it was really great the way you had all of them interacting. Your questions really did keep them engaged throughout the entire process. Um, so, what is one thing you think you'll take away from this experience?
Um, Probably just finding different ways to engage students and have them talk to each other rather than talk to me. Because I think the first time I did the immersion activity, I was kind of talking the majority of the time. But I think for this time, I wasn't talking as much and the students were more talking. So I think that was more effective in that way, having the students talk more than I was talking.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, great job. I just want to just echo that thought. I think it's great to make sure that you have the students talking more. It definitely keeps them more interested and engaged, and you did a great job with that this session. So, thank you so much. I want to go ahead and ask you to stop your recording right now.